Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Doctor Is In. I am your doctor, C.G. Weinberg. And today, your prescription is to realize how good you have it. So, what would you do in life after the worst experience of your life happened? Or to think about it differently, what would you do after you survived World War One and the world is different and is not the same as what it was when you went into the war? These are the questions that Ernest Hemingway was dealing with when he wrote the book The Sun Also Rises. Now, while it looks warm and fuzzy, the title, talking about the sun, possibly about bringing new hope, this, if you're thinking of this book as a sunrise, it is a wet blanket. There's no real good things coming out of this book. It's an existentialist book. So, Hemingway was an early existentialist, existentialism kind of came up and went away, and diverted into other things. So as the existentialism now applies to a bunch of different philosophies. So he'd have been an earlier one where it wasn't nearly as defined, before it really split up into what it became later on, like with Albert Camus. So Hemingway made it through World War One. He was a taxi driver, actually, on the front lines in Italy, for my research. Got hurt and then got sent back, and kind of just floundered through life as a terrific writer. This book is actually really good about showing his style. So I can't imagine it being a very good read or listen for an audiobook unless they actually gave you voices, because there's not a whole lot of context when it's switching between who's talking. You can track it pretty easily while you're reading it, but I would assume it is actually really hard to listen and figure out who's saying what, unless they gave people different voices, which would then be really easy and fun, because it's way more like a real life conversation. And he was really the first one to do that, having a real life conversation in his book without he said, she said, blah, blah, blah. It's just boom, 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 lines of dialogue. So it's way more realistic that way, but you have to pay attention, which is the nice part about it. So Hemingway is approaching this book. The main character made it through the war and is now in Paris at the beginning. Travels all over Europe, Paris, France, Spain, down into the running of the bulls, which I am forgetting, Pamplona, where that happened in Pamplona. So he goes all over, at least that part of Europe. But he's out of the war, surviving, and what else is he going to do? So he chases girls, lies on the beach a lot, drinks a lot of booze, and then goes down and watches the bullfights. And Hemingway is exploring all these things through his characters, trying to find some meaning and pleasure out of life, which is really the sad part, because Jake Barnes, the main character, is looking for something in life, and he really finds nothing. I mean, the line on the back is actually an interesting summary. It is an age of moral bankruptcy, spiritual disillusion, unrealized love, and vanishing illusions. I mean, that just makes you feel warm and cozy inside now there, doesn't it? It's quite sad. So yeah, it shows you what life is like if there isn't I or meaning. And I think that is what Hemingway is trying to do here, which is actually the sad part about it. So he doesn't actually give a whole lot of a pretty picture of life. Now, this was written in 1926. Hemingway is called the voice of the lost generation, that generation between the world wars. And sadly, he actually committed suicide in 1961. So he was full of bright and cheery thoughts. Now, why do I think you should read a book like this? Again, this is the type of book that really shows you what the world has to offer outside Christianity. What is there besides trying to find whatever value you can in your relationships, your consumption, your experiences, if that's all you have. And that's what Hemingway is really doing. Uh, and I don't think he means to, but he gives you a true picture of what life will be like. Strangely enough, his characters never really have hangovers. So, I mean, he does kind of give you a rose-colored glasses on that one. Um, but they drink a ton, they eat a lot, sleep around a lot, sleep a lot, and really are going from one thing to another, trying to find meaning and pleasure in this life, and they have no answers. Um, and the story just kind of trails off, just like whoosh, they go off in the sunset with no higher meaning, no resolution, no nothing. But please don't get drunk, is what Brett asks of Jake at the end. So Lady Brett Ashley is the main female in the book, and she's asking Jake at the end, please don't get drunk, as they go drive off in the sunset, because I think it's because she actually wants Jake to experience the world without the muffledness of alcoholism. And she's telling him that, and Jake is like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm just gonna drink this wine." And as he pounds like a bottle of wine, which he does the whole book. So yeah, what does the world have to offer humanity? Not a lot outside Christianity. So read this book to understand the world around you. Read it so you can know what they're going through and help them through it all, because they don't have answers. The atheists, the existentialists, the absurdists, they don't have answers to things. And the Christian can help with that. But we have to know the type of world they're playing in. And in order to know that, we have to understand the world. And this is an easy way to understand their world without getting dirty yourself. It's not crass, it's not dirty. It is real, though. So normally I teach this to 11th or 12th graders, which I think is a good time period, a good age to introduce this type of work, or later. If you do it earlier, a lot of things will go over their head, and they won't understand it, and they won't get the real value out of the book. So do wait a little later if you're going to introduce this to your students. If you're an adult today, you should totally read it. It is Hemingway. He's one of the great American authors, so you should give him some homage, and this would be a good place to do it. So that would be your prescription to understand the world around you. Check out The Sun Also Rises by Ernest Hemingway. He is a delightful author. He is quite good. His style is actually legendary. So you should check it out, but enjoy for that. Like this video if you like this. Share it if you think someone, if you hear someone's going to go through this book, share this with them before they do so they know what to look at for. Comment below if you have suggestions or want to talk about your existential crises. I'll interact with you if you do that. And subscribe if you want to hear about when my next video comes out. And with all that said, the doctor is out.